You've heard about the beaches, you've seen the palm trees, but what nobody tells you is that Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm are three completely different areas here in South Florida. Pick the wrong one and you're stuck in the wrong lifestyle, the wrong commute, and something that doesn't even fit you. This is the A to Z guide that I wish someone gave me before I moved here. Where to live, what it costs, what it's actually like living here. No BS, no hype, just the truth about what life's actually like here in South Florida. Because if you're looking to make the move, the difference between your dream lifestyle and something that you hate starts here. So let's get one thing straight. South Florida isn't just one big tropical blur. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach might look close on a map, but they couldn't be more different in real life. Start with Miami. It's fast, flashy, and unapologetically bold. Think rooftop lounges, international energy, and skyline views for days. You've got great neighborhoods like that of Brickell, Wynwood, and Edgewater that truly feel more like Manhattan on the beach than a laid-back Florida beach town. If you thrive in high-rise living, love ambitious people, and want access to the best restaurants and events, Miami is truly your playground. But keep in mind, the pace is intense and the traffic doesn't play nice. And then there's Fort Lauderdale, and this is where luxury meets chill. You have the boating scene, the walkability with neighborhoods like that of Rio, Coral Ridge, and even Victoria Park, which have modern townhomes, condos, and most importantly, waterfront estates. The people here are successful, but a little bit more low-key. It's a little bit more of a community vibe overall, with a little less hustle and bustle than that of Miami. However, you still have great nightlife with that of Las Olas, the beach bars, rooftop bars, and you're still connected to everything. Whether you want to hop on 95 to get around, or even take the Bright Line, you're very well connected to Miami, Aventura, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, West Palm, and even Orlando. And last, you've got Palm Beach, which is quiet, refined, and iconic. This is where you go for privacy, space, and a more traditional Florida lifestyle. You'll find pristine country clubs, beautiful beaches, historic architecture, and a slower pace that truly feels intentional. It's ideal for those who are done with the hustle, bustle, and the noise, and they really just want beauty, safety, and an elevated lifestyle without the flash. And here's why this matters. You're not just choosing a city, you're choosing a lifestyle at the end of the day. The restaurants that you will go to, the neighbors that you have, the things that you do on the weekend, it's all shaped on where you live. And if you're thinking this sounds great, but which area is right for me? We help people with this decision every single day. If you want someone local who can help make sense of this and make sure that you land in the right spot, shoot me a text or an email. Our information is on the screen. You can pause it, screenshot it, whatever is easiest for you. We want to be able to help you guys make the right decision when you look for a home here in South Florida. Now let's break down what kind of homes you'll find in each area. Price points and property styles, that's where things really start to get interesting. Now, South Florida real estate, it isn't one size fit all. Your experience and what you get for your money all depends on where you plant your flag. In Miami, high-rise luxury condos are king. High-rises dominate neighborhoods like Brickell, Edgewater, Midtown, South Beach, and even downtown. Just take a look. Picture floor-to-ceiling glass windows, rooftop pools, state-of-the-art fitness centers, valet service, concierge, and even skyline views that stretch out to the ocean. And a newer one-bedroom in a desirable building can start around the $600,000 range, but between high demand, luxury amenities, prices can easily climb pretty fast. And then there's also the HOA fees, often between $800, about $2,500, but it does cover the pool, security, the gym, your insurance, but those prices can quickly add up fast. Shift to Fort Lauderdale, and there's a lot more variety. Yes, we do have some great beachfront condos, but there's also some great new construction luxury condos coming with resort style amenities that aren't going to break the bank. On top of that, this is one of the few places left where you can actually get a home on the water with a dock and not break the bank at that $5 million price tag. You can get a home here in some great neighborhoods like that of Coral Ridge, the Landings, and even Garden Isles under that $2 million price tag, be on the water with a dock, have a 3-bedroom house, even with a pool. Now there's also plenty of great options just west of Federal with a little bit more room to breathe. Now let's zoom into the Palm Beach. This area blends timeless elegance with serious exclusivity. You'll find historic homes, manicured estates, and quiet luxury everywhere, especially in the island section where we're at. In West Palm Beach though, you might be able to score a newly renovated 2-bedroom condo in the mid $400,000 range, which isn't bad, or a brand new luxury condo with plenty of them coming, like the Mr. C residences or even the Ritz-Carlton residences in the low $2 million range. That's not bad. But then once you cross the bridge into Palm Beach itself, Single family homes here regularly stretch from the $5 million range all the way up to the $50 million range. And this is less about the flash like that of Miami and more about the refinement. Every single tile, bush, driveway, and even blade of grass feels intentional here. And no matter where you look, there are definitely some things to look out for. Like on the older condo side, those built before the 2000s will have special assessments most more than likely and tighter financing. Now living on the water, especially east of 95, seawall maintenance, flood insurance, and just higher overall maintenance costs. Budget, different city, completely different lifestyle. Now that we've seen what your money can buy, let's zoom into what your daily life actually costs. Now start with housing. In Miami, a newer condo in Brickell or Edgewater can easily run you between $700,000 to $900,000, but the real shock is the monthly carrying cost. Add an additional $1,000 to $1,500 a month for HOA dues, property taxes nearly 2% annually. The good news though, insurance premiums are often included in your HOA dues along with all your amenities. In Fort Lauderdale, you'll find a bit more balance. Obviously, beachfront homes come with their own costs, but you can easily score a single family home here with no HOA. However, insurance is still a hurdle, especially for homes with roofs over 20 years old. But plenty of people are opting to put new metal roofs on homes, along with impact windows that drastically lower insurance costs. Plus, you can avoid some of those hidden fees with larger condo associations. And Palm Beach varies dramatically. In West Palm, you can live pretty comfortably in a mid-rise condo, maybe even a high-rise condo, or even a gated community with a reasonable monthly cost. Think for that gated community, right around maybe a $500 a month HOA for one of these high-rise condos, anywhere between about $700 to about $1,200 a month. Then your insurance could be a little bit lower if you go a little bit further west into maybe even Palm Beach Gardens area. Think about $5,000, $10,000 a year. But head out to the island or these luxury golf communities like that of the Bears Club, and you're dealing with exclusive membership fees and HOA dues that can easily exceed $1,000 a month. Then there's everything else. There's car registration, which isn't cheap, especially for new residents. You can expect anywhere between $400 to $700 depending on the value of the vehicle. Don't even get me started on some of the highways and toll roads, especially if you're taking the express lanes on 95, 595, or even hopping on the turnpike. It can add up quickly. Gas, surprisingly, can be pretty affordable, especially near the ports like that of the Port of Miami and near Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, where the prices actually rival that of Costco. Then on the electric side, for a single family house, you can expect to range between about $300 to $400 a month, especially during the summer when you're blasting the AC. On some of these newer condos and apartments though, about 1,000 to 2,000 square feet, you could be roughly $100 to $200 a month because of the energy efficiency. Now, when it comes to grocery stores, we have plenty of options, but the go-to is usually Publix. You expect to pay a premium. The other day when I went to go get a T-bone steak, some potatoes, and some veggies, it was easy 25, 30 bucks, but that's exactly what you're paying for at the end of the day. On average though, it's right around everything else. Now on the dining outside of things, this is where it can get a little pricey. Let's say you're going out for dinner for 2 people, drinks, appetizer, and maybe dessert. You can expect to spend at least $80 to $100 for a normal meal. Now, if you're going to something a little bit more upscale, a fine dining, maybe a nice date night, you can expect to spend right around $150 to $250 for that meal. And obviously living in South Florida, fitness is a way of life. People are shirtless pretty much year round in an appropriate way, but a premium gym membership like that of Equinox or Anatomy can easily run you $200 a month. Not to mention if you're going to one of these boutique studios for yoga or Pilates, which can quickly add up to a couple hundred to almost $1,000 a month. But don't worry, we still have Amped, which is only $29 a month, and it's 24/7. While there's no state income tax, which is a major benefit, especially for high earners and just people in general, the day-to-day costs of maintaining your lifestyle can quickly add up, especially if you're not paying close attention. In the next section, we're pulling back the curtain even further because there are some details that no one actually tells you until you live here, and these could cost you thousands. Everyone sees the palm trees, but they don't see the line items, the fine print, the city-specific quirks that can quickly turn your move into a nightmare. Insurance is a beast down here, especially if you're buying a single-family home with a roof that's older than 20 years old. Most insurance carriers won't even touch it. And if they do, your insurance premium is gonna be closer to private school tuition than anything else. Now, don't even get me started on flood insurance. With most of the homes being east of 95 requiring it, it's just something else that you'll have to budget in, and that's an additional $5,000 to $10,000 a year. And then there's special assessments, especially in older condo buildings, and then we'll talk about those built before the 2000s. They want to enforce a stricter building code as well as structural guidelines, so that cute $500,000 condo like this could be hit with a $50,000 to $75,000 assessment to redo the structural components like the balcony, concrete, hallways, and have a fully funded reserve fund. That's something you won't always see in the Zillow listing. Inspections here are different. Talk about seawall inspections, elevation certificates, and wind mitigation reports. Imagine buying a waterfront home and your seawall has a crack or needs to be replaced. That cost could be $50,000 or more. Not to mention the insurance costs, where if you have an older roof, non-impact windows, you could probably not even get coverage or expect sky-high premiums. Then there's HOAs and condo rules that can be absolutely wild. Your dog is over 20 pounds? Sorry, he can't come. Oh, you want to rent your unit out 6 months out of the year? Sorry, you can't do that either. Oh, you want to paint your house this color? No, you can't do that either. So there's some definitely different rules, especially if you're used to freedom, where moving into some communities could feel like you're going into a prison more so than a complete lifestyle change. Then there's the geography factor. Living out east sounds great until you realize that, oh, I might need flood insurance, and it is a little bit more fast-paced. Then living out west is a completely different world. A little bit more suburban, parks, plenty of strip centers. It's just different. So understanding which one's right for you is extremely important. There's also these seasonal population shifts. Many buyers don't even expect that during snowbird season or even spring break season to expect longer waits, more traffic, and just an overall busier way of life. Then in the off season, definitely slows down, but it's something that you need to take into account, especially if you want to live out east. Buying in South Florida is definitely worth it, but it requires your eyes wide open. But now let's completely flip the script. Let's see what the energy is like. Let's see what the daily life is like in each one of these cities, from the social settings, the vibes, and even the weekend activities. Living in South Florida isn't just about where you sleep. It's about how you move, how you socialize, and how you live your day-to-day life. Each city has its own vibe, and it shows up in day-to-day life. Miami is fast, vibrant, and always on. You'll find a rooftop workout before sunrise, cold plunges before coffee, and power lunches that really feel more like networking events than actual meals. On the weekends, people head to Soho House or spend hours bouncing between boating, day clubs, and even brunch spots in the Gables. The fashion here is sharp, as you can tell. The pace is high, the crowd is international and ambitious, and if you're drawn to energy, constant motion, and never really running out of things to do, Miami truly delivers. Fort Lauderdale flows at a different speed. It's all about boating here. It's a little bit slower of a pace of life, but you still have plenty of great activities with dog walkers out on Las Olas, paddle boarders on a Saturday. It's a refined, polished type living where it's not trying to do too much. You can still grab a bite to eat in flip-flops. However, if you want something a little bit fancier, we do have the red carpet type dining, Michelin star restaurants, and great nightlife options as well. Palm Beach really feels like you stepped into a curated resort town. Mornings here start a little bit different. So you can have a beach walk, there's boutiques, coffee shops, maybe even quiet bike rides, because there's not a whole lot of hustle and bustle, not a lot of cars revving up and down the streets like some other cities in South Florida. The vibe here is elegant, but not loud about it at the same time. And events are centered around the social calendar. Think about charity galas, art shows, or even dinners at private clubs. It's perfect if you prefer a calm rhythm, scenic surroundings, and a strong sense of community at the end of the day. Fitness culture is everywhere. In Miami though, it's all about branded studios and gyms like that of Anatomy, Barry's Boot Camp, and obviously Equinox. Fort Lauderdale and West Palm and Palm Beach shown it in a different way, with plenty of outdoor activities, whether you're walking, running, or even biking along the beach. Social life definitely shifts by each city. Miami, it's all about the scene. Rooftop bars, Michelin star restaurants, going where the celebrities go. Fort Lauderdale's a little bit more laid back. We do have some great clubs, bar scene, and then Palm Beach is all about elegance, a little bit more refined living and nightlife aspect. Knowing how each city lives day to day is key at deciding where you'll feel at home. Coming up next, we'll talk about stuff that doesn't show up in the listing that absolutely impacts your lifestyle, from the traffic and commuting, and how long it really takes to get around when you live here. Distance doesn't mean much in South Florida. 10 miles might take you 15 minutes one day and then 45 minutes the next, all depending on where you live and when you're going. So let's start with Palm Beach. The roads here are quieter. You'll feel the lower density and the less population immediately, especially if you're used to big city traffic. Most commutes here can stay easily under that 30 minutes, and parking is rarely a battle, unless it's peak season. Now, from December through usually about that April timeframe, snowbird traffic nearly doubles in places like Worth Ave, downtown West Palm, or even PGA Boulevard. But it's not chaos by any means. If you're heading to dinner or an event, maybe even a meeting, just plan an extra maybe 5-10 minutes and maybe a little bit fewer parking spots. Now, Fort Lauderdale, that strikes a great middle ground. You've got congestion around the popular areas like that of Las Olas, Sunrise, A1A, and even Federal, especially during peak times. But overall, it's easier to navigate than Miami and a little bit more structured than Palm Beach. The city is designed around car travel, so having a vehicle is essential. However, there is walkable pockets. Most neighborhoods are about 10 to 15 minutes away from key shopping, food, gyms, things to do, and most importantly, the beach. You'll still deal with traffic lights and school zones, but commuting here doesn't feel like a constant daily battle. Now, speaking of constant daily battles, then there's Miami, where driving here is a full-on contact sport. Between the ongoing congestion, some of the drivers who just decide to come from the left lane all the way across to the right lane, tight downtown streets, and unpredictable bridge openings, every drive needs a buffer. I'm saying at least an easy 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. A short drive from downtown to the Gables can take 20 minutes or all the way up to 45 minutes to an hour at the wrong time of the day. And parking, yeah, just good luck. Many condos charge for parking spots, and street parking's either metered or tightly enforced. You're not just gonna leave your car out for 5 minutes, you're gonna get a ticket. Valet is everywhere though, but it's convenience that comes with a cost. If you have a big truck like mine, you have to still find street parking. But here's the wild card, the Bright Line. You're probably wondering, what is the Bright Line? So this is our high-speed rail system that connects Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami with stations that really feel more like airport lounges than train stations. And honestly, it's nicer than a lot of airports I've been to. It's clean, fast, and predictable. The Bright Line has become the go-to for remote workers and business professionals trying to get around, and pretty much anyone sick of 95 traffic or even the turnpike traffic. Living near a Bright Line station gives you flexibility without sacrificing mobility across the greater South Florida area. Remote and hybrid work are also options, reshaping the equation. If you're not commuting daily, you can really start to prioritize some different things like that space, scenery, or even the schools over the proximity to downtown. Now, coming up next, where people actually go once we're off the clock here. Local hangout spots, foodie favorites, I'm a foodie, I know you are, and the spots that make life down here really feel like a permanent vacation. Now, this is the part that people really romanticize, and for good reason. South Florida's got plenty of great options. Whether you're into fine dining options, local coffee shops, breweries, outdoor activities, boutique shopping, and even boating, each city brings something different to the table. Start in Fort Lauderdale. The social scene is built around the water, as you can see. Locals love dock and dine spots like the 15th Street Fisheries, Shooters, Boatyard, or my personal favorite, Coconuts. You really just can't go wrong with it. Plus, we do have the beach, paddleboarding, jet skiing, and everything else. Las Olas is the main artery for food, cocktails, and really just people watching in general. But the locals also head to Flagler Village, which is an up-and-coming trendy spot with breweries, great bars, pop-ups, and an overall younger crowd. Now, retail-wise, it is a mix. You've got the Galleria Mall for the basics, but for the most part, people really go to Town Center or the Aventura Mall, maybe even the Sawgrass Mills Mall. There's also plenty of strip centers all around as well. Over in Palm Beach, things slow down a bit, but in the best way possible. Worth Ave is really the crown jewel here, where you'll find high-end boutiques, designers, galleries, and even restaurants with white tablecloths and water views. Honestly, the best spot is Buchan's Sandwich Shop. For coffee, locals swear by St. Ambrose or Hive. Personally though, I like a good energy drink. And then for dinner, you might go to Buchan, Cafe Boulad, maybe even Lenora's or Rocco's Tacos. And weekends, think about green markets, golf, bike rides, boating, fishing. It's an elevated and relaxed lifestyle all at once. Now, Miami, this is where things start to get intense. You'll find a new restaurant opening every week and food from every corner of the globe. Brunch in Coconut Grove, sushi in Brickell, smash burgers here in Wynwood, and the options are truly endless. Shopping also feels next level. Between Brickell City Center, the Design District, and the Bal Harbour shops, there's really no shortage of places to flex your wallet. Social life is also key. Rooftop cocktails, invite-only events, private clubs, and bars that also double down as fashion shows. And then there's the outdoors, and this truly applies across the board in all of South Florida. Whether it's the beaches, paddleboarding, boating, jet skiing, golfing, biking, dog parks, sports, all right, you get it. But South Florida is truly built for people who love to move and play. Even in the middle of the work week, it's not uncommon to find people kind of laying out, suntanning, getting off of work early, trying to just go catch the sunset, walk on the beach, go for a bike ride, maybe even enjoy dinner or happy hour right here on the water. And this lifestyle piece is what really hooks most people. And once you kind of find your rhythm here, it's really hard to imagine trying to live anywhere else, not only in Florida, but probably the entire country. But before we wrap up, there's one last thing to do. Let's put everything together and help you figure out which city truly fits you. Now that you've seen the full picture, lifestyle, cost, real estate, and the local energy, the next question is really simple. Which city feels like home to you? If you crave energy, connections, and the constant buzz of what's new, Miami's probably calling your name. You'll never really run out of things to do, and you'll be surrounded by ambition, like-minded people, and it's fast, curated, and unapologetically alive at the end of the day. Now, if you want a little bit more balance, you want to work hard, relax a little bit harder, and live a slower pace of life without really feeling disconnected, Fort Lauderdale does check a lot of boxes. Between the boating, the great food, the spacious homes, and just enough nightlife to keep it fun without really burning you out. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more privacy, elegance, and a calm setting, Palm Beach is really hard to beat here in Florida, pretty much anywhere in general. It's about quality over quantity, beautiful homes, scenic mornings, and a lifestyle that truly feels both relaxed and elevated at the same time. Now, at the end of the day, it's not just about moving to South Florida. It's about picking the right part of South Florida, because that choice shapes everything, from your daily routine to even your long-term happiness when you're here. And if you're still unsure or want help thinking it through, that's exactly what we do. My team lives here, works here, and helps people like you figure this out every single day. You'll find our contact information in the description. You can reach out pretty much anytime to us. And when you're ready to learn even more about what life here actually looks like, keep watching. There are videos on this channel breaking down everything from neighborhoods, things to do, new developments, and everything else you need to know before making the move.